How's it going, everybody? Texas Man here. I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. Please give this video a thumbs up if you guys really enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys have not already. Also, do me the biggest favor of all. Hit the bell notification button so you guys don't miss out on future videos or streams here on the channel. Also, make sure to head over to Twitch. Follow me there at Douglas447. I stream there at least once a week, whether it be for Call of Duty, Battlefield, Halo, Destiny 2, Call of Duty, or anything else you guys suggest for me to stream over there. And we're going to be talking briefly about what I thought of Star Wars The Bad Batch Episode 1. I will be doing an entire review for the entire season once all 16 episodes have concluded. So the first episode ended up dropping here in 2021 on May 4th on Star Wars Day. And episode 2 will be dropping tomorrow on Friday. So look forward to that for episode 2. I will not be talking about episode 2 in a separate video. I just wanted to give my first impressions of what I thought of the show's episode 1, the show's premiere. Did I get invested in watching the show and continuing on for all full 16 episodes of season 1? There is a big rumor that we might get a season 2, depending on how well the show does. So we're just going to dive right into the fact that this show has been getting a lot of hate. There are a lot of people that are like, why aren't we getting more stuff in between episode 6 and 7? Why aren't we getting things that take place in between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens? And why aren't we getting anything that takes place perhaps after the ending of episode 9? Why is it that Disney and Lucasfilm are so dead set on constantly rehashing the Clone Wars era and rehashing what happens in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope? And I can understand their want and desire for something else within the Star Wars universe. The biggest problem that personally I can say with a fact is why we aren't getting anything in between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens and anything that takes place after episode 9 is the fact that the sequel trilogy currently is hated by 80% of the fan base. There are some people out there that really like the sequel era trilogy. And for those of you who like it, that's fine. I don't I don't like the sequel trilogy whatsoever. There are certain aspects in Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker that I enjoy, but it's the middle film, The Last Jedi and the sequel trilogy, that really puts a bad taste in your mouth when you have to talk about the sequel trilogy. Because no matter what you do, you have to have watched The Last Jedi to understand the connection between Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker. And it's really weird because I have every single Star Wars movie on Blu-ray, and it's like, I've seen The Last Jedi twice, and I have no desire to rewatch it again. Like, literally, I can be perfectly happy now that I've seen The Last Jedi twice now. I can just do Force Awakens. I know exactly what happens in The Last Jedi, so I can skip it, watch The Rise of Skywalker, and be done. And it saves me 3 hours of my Star Wars binging event that I do like once a year. But that's why a lot of people are confused as to why we're constantly still getting more Clone Wars era content. And the fact that this show ends up starting off saying Star Wars The Clone Wars and then it dissolves saying Star Wars The Bad Batch is a very obvious nod to the fact that this takes place during the Clone Wars era. Also, the show is basically just showing the aftermath, again, of Order 66. But instead of it coming from the viewpoint of, like, a Jedi or a bounty hunter, we're getting it from the viewpoint and the perspective of the clones. Which is fine, but we've had this aftermath of Order 66 thing been done to death. Now, I love the Clone Wars show. I also love Star Wars Rebels. Star Wars Resistance, not so much. The thing is that we've seen these things before. We've seen Order 66 1,000 times. Not only in the Clone Wars show, but we've seen it in the movies, we've seen it in video games, and we've seen it in every other form of media out there. So, based on just me watching episode 1, titled Aftermath, shocking, it feels somewhat of a sequel to the Clone Wars, and it also, unfortunately, it feels like a season 8 of Star Wars: The Clone Wars show. It feels like a season 8. It feels like a continuation of that. And it's kind of bizarre. I feel like the Bad Batch was like the concept for George Lucas's original season 8 of the Clone Wars show. And it's very obvious because there's a lot of themes and ideals and locations. I mean, you've got Kamino in here. I'm like, if this wanted to be its own show and just have inspiration sprinkled in, it needed to come up, and I hope it does in future episodes, come up with new planets, some new interesting characters. We don't get any new characters in this show. We have one, but it's a clone. A young clone that may or may not have Force-sensitive powers. We see more Kaminos. We see more of Kamino. We see Grand Admiral Tarkin to be the villain. We see everyone from the Bad Batch, including Echo. And we also get to see Kanan Jarrus, which is, the Jedi and Rebels that ends up training Ezra Bridger and gets blinded. So we get to see him. We also get to see the Bad Batch. And we get to see, finally, Kanan see his master get killed off by Order 66. But I'm like, we didn't need to have that full scene, I guess. I don't know why we needed to see that. I mean, they burned that into our memory that actually happens in the Star Wars Rebels show. This is an hour and 50-minute long episode, and I feel like it was more fan service, which is fine, but I'm just like, why does this show exist? I will be completely honest. I'm not like diehard set on watching the rest of the show. I'm going to watch it because, obviously, I'm going to make a YouTube video on it. But the biggest problem is that it's Star Wars, and I feel like I've seen this before. I've already seen this before. I've seen the aftermath of Order 66. You see it in Revenge of the Sith. You see it in A New Hope. You've seen it in the Clone Wars show with Season 7. You've seen it in Rebels. You've seen it in tons of Star Wars games. Like, for example, the most recent example would be Star Wars Fallen Order, the video game. This show hasn't produced a single thing that says, hey, this show exists because I wanted to show you this. If this show is only going to exist to show the aftermath of Order 66 from a group of special ops clones' viewpoints, I think I'd rather go play Star Wars Clone Commandos. Okay? That's my own opinion. Now, it's weird because I know for a fact there's a lot of people that never played Fallen Order. They've never watched Star Wars Rebels. So for them, this might be a great leaping off point to see the aftermath of Order 66. But in order to appreciate Order 66, you have to have seen Revenge of the Sith. So no matter what, in order to really appreciate this show, you have to have seen the prequel trilogy through and through and through. And I'm not hooked. I'm not hooked. Am I intrigued to see, will this show impress me and get better? Yes. The action, the adventure, the explosions, the animation, the quality of the show is all top notch. This isn't a bad episode and it's not a bad show. I'm not disappointed. I'm just not invested as much as I think a lot of other people are. And I'm hoping that future episodes will hook me and make me actually care about wanting to come back. At the moment, the only reason I'm wanting to come back is to see how it's going to improve, and because it's called Star Wars. But if it didn't have that Star Wars name attached to it, I really wouldn't care about the show. So, Also, lastly, you can only watch this on Disney Plus. So if you don't have Disney Plus, you cannot watch this show. Just like with Star Wars Clone Wars Season 7. I really, really hope that eventually Star Wars Season 7 of the Clone Wars will get released on Blu-ray. That way I can complete my entire Clone Wars collection. So that's all I'm going to say about Star Wars The Bad Batch at the moment. I will have my full seasonal review out as soon as all 16 episodes are out and done, and I have watched them all, so look forward to that coming out very, very soon. And I hope you guys all have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Bye, guys.